Hey group. So in this class, I'm asking you to know a lot of different bones within your body. So really, this just comes down to what is this bone called? What is that bone called? You call this a collarbone. What is it really called? So you can just look at a diagram, you can study, you can do some sort of online tools, I'm sure. But what I want to do is, over my years of teaching, I've either been taught some or come up with my own of different kind of ways to remember what all these bones are. So this video is meant to tell you kind of my tricks that I will hopefully help you learn what the bones are. Some of them are amazing, some of them are kind of and some I think are amazing that you might not think are amazing. But here we go, ready? So first is your cranium. Here's my first trick. The cranium holds your brainium. Well, it holds your brain, but cranium, brainium, okay? Cranium, brainium. Next, I have mandible. So your mandible is your jawbone, okay? And a lot of times men will have a more pronounced jaw. So a man usually will have a more pronounced jaw. So man, jaw, right? So you see where I'm going with this video. I'm gonna give you little random things like this that are gonna help you. All right, hopefully they can keep helping you. Ready? We're gonna skip vertebrae. So clavicle and scapula, people always get flip-flopped. So clavicle, okay, it starts with C. Your collarbone starts with C. So your clavicle is your collarbone, okay, right here. Whereas your scapula is your shoulder blade, so that starts with S. You can remember scapula, shoulder blade, but I also remember it because a scapula sounds like scalpel to me, like a scalpel that a doctor would use, or you might use in science class, like a really sharp blade, and the scapula is your shoulder blade. So I always remember blade and like scalpel. That always helped me too. So scapula is your shoulder blade. All right, the next one I have for you is your sternum. So the sternum is this little bone here, connects to your ribs, and I always think of it like this. If you're standing here like really stern looking, you kind of cross your arms over your sternum. So if you're thinking sternum, kind of give us a stern posture, and it might cover up your sternum, okay? All right, ribs, you know what ribs are. Humerus. All right, so your humerus is this bone here, it's the top bone of your arm, and humerus, you know, also means funny, and it's really close to your funny bone. So your funny bone isn't really a bone, but its humerus is right next to your funny bone. Next, we have radius and ulna. Okay, so listen, you have two bones inside your forearm, and it's really easy to get them flip-flopped. Which one's the radius, which one's the ulna? They basically look the same. So here's the trick that I've used. So if you hold your arm like this, you have one bone that's really connected basically to your thumb. So I always go like this. If you make almost like a lowercase r, this is your radius. So the radius is the one that connects to your thumb when you make a lowercase r. And when you make this, your ulna, U, is under. U for under. Your ulna is under your radius. So as long as you go like this, radius, ulna, you can know the difference between the two. All right. Then we have our hand bones, and our feet bones are really similar. So you have carpals, tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges, and phalanges. So they're really similar. So I'm going to tell you how to tell them apart. So first thing to know is that you have your phalanges, you have your metacarpals, and you have your carpals. So meta means middle. So the meta, the prefix means middle and middle. So the middle of your hand is your metacarpals, the middle of your foot is your metatarsals. But now here's a trick to help you remember which one are carpals and which one are tarsals. So if you're driving a car, you drive with your hand. So this would be your carpals because it's driving a car. Whereas your tarsals, as you're walking on your feet, you're near the tar on the ground. Right? Okay, so your tarsals are on the ground, your carpals is when you're driving. Phalanges I'm going to save till a little bit later. All right, pelvis. So I was told Elvis shakes his pelvis. I'm not going to shake my pelvis for you. That would be uncomfortable. So Elvis shakes his pelvis. We also have the coccyx, which I'm not going to worry about. That's your tailbone. Femur, I don't have a great way to remember femur, but femur is your thigh bone. It's the strongest bone in your body. Someone once told me like a giant, like from Jack and the Beanstalk, says fee, fi, fo, fum, like fee for femur, and it's a giant bone. Maybe that helps you. All right, and then patella, I don't have a good trick for that. Pat your knees, patella. And then tibia and fibula, also people get them flip-flopped. So if you feel your lower leg bones, you have your shin, and you have this other bone that's kind of behind your calf, you can't feel it. So here's how I say it. The tibia is much bigger, and then the fibula is really small. So I always remember tough tibia. So that's the one you can feel. It's really big and strong. It's your shin bone. T for T, tough tibia, and fragile fibula. The fragile fibula is much thinner and much smaller, and it's behind there. So tough tibia, fragile fibula. All right. So, and then we talked about tarsals and metatarsals, and then so I'm just going to end off with phalanges. All right. So phalanges. There's a way it's going to make you moan and groan, but I kind of really like it. So if you remember, back in 2000 and 2015 maybe, 2014, there was a really popular saying in middle school and high school and I guess all around the world that people were always saying like, bye Felicia, bye Felicia. And every time I say that, people look at me like, you're a teacher, you shouldn't be saying anything that's even remotely supposed to be cool. And I get that, but I'm gonna use it to help us remember phalanges. So instead of saying bye Felicia, you can see Beyonce here, where she's waving around. When you say bye Felicia, bye phalanges. So you say bye phalanges, because you wave your phalanges when you say that. So you say bye phalanges. Ready? One more time. Bye phalanges. All right, you're probably moaning and groaning. That's okay. So that's how I remember the bones. I hope they help you. And before we go off, I just have to say one more thing. Bye phalanges. Thanks for watching.